Hello, 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 travelers. The video that everybody and their mother was asking for. No, nobody was asking for it. I don't think so. Well, some people are like, I like your opinions. Other people are just like,
Put the fries in the bag.
since I did my Golden Globe video where I basically went over I did my predictions and then my reactions to the winners afterwards. But I have seen more movies since then. Shocker, I know. I'm recording this on the evening before the Oscars, so this is going to go up on the day of, mere hours before, just so I can get not only my picks but my predictions for what I think is going to actually win. I don't know if I've seen every single movie that's featured on this list across all categories, but over 2024, I saw 214 films in theaters, including many new releases. I have for a fact seen every Best Picture nomination. For Best Actor in a Leading Role, we have Adrian Brody in The Brutalist. We have Timothée Chalamet in A Complete Unknown. Coleman Domingo in Scene Scene. Ralph Fiennes, right? Conclave, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice. Correction, I have not seen The Apprentice yet. Leading role for this, what I would, out of all these, what I would choose. I know for the Golden Globes, I said Coleman Domingo. Since I did my Golden Globe video, I have seen The Brutalist. I've seen The Brutalist 3 times in theaters. Honestly, you know what, my list, I'm going to cheat. It's a tie. I would say it could go either way for me. Adrian Brody and Coleman Domingo. I think both of them deserve it, maybe even equally so. What do I think is gonna win? It'd be nice if the Academy gave Coleman Domingo. I think he needs more praise in this world. I think Adrian Brody's already a known quantity and name and has won plenty in his life, but I feel like they would give it to Adrian Brody. It'd be nice for Coleman Domingo. Timothée, look, he, props and all that. Talking about the actors themselves, sure, Timothée did a great job. I'm not a huge Bob Dylan fan, but actor in a supporting role, Yura Borisov in Anora. We have Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, or Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. Again, The Apprentice, it sucks. I wish I had seen. I've heard Jeremy Strong is great. I would love it if Yura Borisov won. Igor in Anora is a phenomenal supporting role character. He's so great. He's one of the best parts of that film. Touche, And yeah, I love Kieran, of course I do. I'm between Yura Borisov and Guy Pearce. Edward Norton is fine in A Complete Unknown, but he's a central part of the film, but I don't think out of all these roles, that one really shines above the rest. God, and Guy Pearce is so good. I love it. I have a soft spot for Honora. I have a soft spot for that actor in particular. I think that either Yura or Guy Pearce should win. I think, given his track record, I think Kieran Culkin might take it home. I don't know. He's already been winning awards. I'm pretty sure he got the Golden Globe. Wouldn't be surprised if he also cleans house there. Actress in a leading role, Cynthia Erivo in Wicked. Amelia Perez, Carla over here. I've heard quite a lot of interesting press about that. Mikey Madison and Honora, Demi Moore in The Substance, Fernando Torres and I'm Still Here. I did finally see I'm Still Here. My personal pick is, again, I keep getting stuck in these twos. I myself would either vote for Mikey Madison and Honora or Demi Moore in The Substance. I think in this case, I'm tempted to lean more towards Mikey Madison. I think that there's a lot to Demi Moore's character, but in The Substance, it's purposefully split between her and Margaret Qualley. If we're talking about like a character study, like an actual character and the performance given, even though I would have loved more from her character, I think what she brought to the table, Mikey, I think I would vote for Mikey Madison, who I think the Academy will give it to. Something tells me the Academy is going to give it to Fernando Torres, given the subject matter of the movie. It's a great movie. I don't think it's phenomenal, but she's a powerhouse in it. Like Fernando Torres, if she were to win, I would not be upset whatsoever. Demi Moore also might have a shot, given the polarizing nature of The Substance and that she's had a prolific cinematic career with like not a whole lot in the way of accolades aside from fanfare. I think Fernando Torres is going to take home the gold. I would personally vote for Mikey Madison. I wouldn't be too mad about Demi Moore. Actress in a supporting role, we have Monica Barbaro. Barbaro in A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande in Wicked, Felicity Jones in The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini in Conclave, or Zoe Saldana from Emilia Perez. Here's what's crazy. Since I did my Golden Globe video, I've seen Emilia Perez. It's not a great movie. Do I think it's complete dog water, poo-poo caca like everybody online hopped on the bandwagon and said? No, I've seen considerably worse films in my life. All things considered, it's just okay. I'm pretty sure I gave it like a low 3 out of 5. Which is my scale is below average. I think what everybody can agree on is that Zoe Saldana is the best part of that movie, but it's also not saying much. I said this during my Golden Globe video. Isabella Rossellini does a great job in The Conclave, but she's barely in it. Having seen The Brutalist, having also seen Wicked, I'm worried that Zoe Saldana is going to win this because she's already been scooping up awards. I think that the Academy might throw a curveball in here. I think the Academy is going to give it to Felicity Jones. I think Felicity Jones in The Brutalist is magnificent. I thought it was great. Loved her character. Like Demi Moore in The Substance, I would like to have had more character development. Not to say the character isn't developed. I'm just saying, I think they could throw a curveball in there. Like I said, I'm worried they'll do Zoe Saldana. I think they could potentially give it to Felicity Jones. And I think, vote for Felicity Jones. Here's the curveball shocker. Low key, I would also vote for Ariana Grande, honestly. I finally saw Wicked. It's not the best musical I've ever seen in my life. I never even seen the Broadway version. I wasn't familiar with the source material, the story. We're not speaking to the film, period. We're talking about the role. And I think that Ariana Grande is the best part of that movie. She deserves at least one win. That'd be a really cool underdog kind of win right there. I think that in all good conscience, and I'd have to put my vote in for Felicity Jones, but I would also be very happy, pleasantly surprised to see Ariana Grande take home the gold on this one. But I fear they're going to give it to Zoe Saldana. Best animated feature. Damn, again, I really need I've been putting it off. I still haven't seen Inside Out 2. And I still haven't seen Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, and I've heard that's so good. I would vote for Memoir of a Snail, hands down. I adore that movie. I've seen more than half of these nominations. I talked about it during the Golden Globes. It made my top 3 for the year. I'd vote for Memoir of a Snail. I'm worried that The Wild Robot would win. What I think will win is Flow. I saw Flow in theaters. I loved Flow. Visually stunning, striking, animated film told completely without dialogue. The art style I didn't think I would like, but I eventually warmed up to it. All the choices they made creatively in that film, I think made it one of the top 5 most unique animated films I saw of 2024. Wild Robot's good, but it's nowhere near most of these other nominees. It'd be amazing if Memoir of a Snail won, and I'm so glad it got nominated on this list as well. That's my vote personally. Animated short, I'm not even going to vote. I have not seen those. My local art house cinema had a marathon of them, but I just simply did not have the time to see them. Cinematography, here's the tricky. Emilia Perez, what are you talking about? The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria. I did see Maria. Oh, Nosferatu. Oh, I'm glad I got an Oscar nomination. Holy shit. I would say between Dune Part 2 and Nosferatu. That's a tricky one. So I think Dune is like, the quintessential, especially Part 2, quintessential sci-fi epic blockbuster, but one of those blockbusters that's done just masterfully, artistically, so well done on just about every level that it could even execute on. Just Nosferatu is almost more admirable. Again, if we're talking cinematography here, just the fewer colors, they did more with less in this film. I mean, both are thoughtfully composed films, but like frame by frame I'm talking about here, like masterpiece, some beautiful shots that stuck with me. Lighting and framing and scenes in tandem with direction by Eggers, and Eggers doesn't like to cut and just likes to move actors around in a scene or just slightly move the camera here and there and let the scene play out. I mean, The Brutalist also great cinematography, don't get me wrong, but it's a bit simpler than the other two. If Dune won, I would completely understand. I think I'd put my vote in for Nosferatu personally, because it's a gorgeous, gorgeous film. Regardless of how you feel about the story or how you feel about the third act and if it was rushed, etc., etc. Just visually, from a cinematography standpoint, I wouldn't be surprised if The Brutalist won either. Costume design, Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, or Wicked. Out of all of those, I would say Nosferatu. I mean, Conclave, just take me to church, right? Complete Unknown, all right, can we get clothing that's reminiscent or nostalgic of the time? Okay, done, cool. Gladiator 2, I'm sure. But I mean, Nosferatu, come on. Like, Eggers and his work with his costume designers painstakingly outfitting people. I mean, if they gave it to Wicked, sure. My vote, Nosferatu. I feel like the Academy's gonna give it to Nosferatu, hopefully. If they didn't give it to Nosferatu, I could see them giving it to Wicked. Directing, Sean Baker for Anora, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. Again, all these nominations for Complete Unknown, it's not that, like, come on. I enjoy Mangold's movies, but out of all the films to be like,
Bro, he cooked.
Emilia Perez, LOL, and The Substance. Now, my vote 100% hands down, and I'm very biased because it was my favorite film of the year. Substance is my vote for direction. Like, Direction and Substance by Coralie Faget. Like no question. Will they give it to The Substance? That's the question, right? I feel like they would be more likely to give it to The Brutalist or Anora. There's a chance they might give it to The Substance. The Substance has been winning some stuff. It'd be
Academy, it'd be super cool if you give it to The Substance, but
documentary feature. It would not feel right to vote. I didn't see any of them. Documentary short film. I've not seen any of them. I don't think it'd be right to vote. Editing. Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez. Just from an editing perspective, editing and pacing. Honestly, I would give it to The Brutalist. I say film editing because I attribute a film's pacing and a large chunk of its quality to its editing. And the fact that for a 3.5-hour film, I saw it 3 times in theaters, and literally every subsequent viewing, it felt shorter, which for me is a mark of brilliant pacing. I wouldn't be upset if Anora got it, but something tells me I vote for The Brutalist, and I think The Brutalist is going to win. Though I could also see Anora winning. I could see them somehow trying to shoehorn Wicked in there. Conclave, the editing was nothing special, I don't think. International feature film. Man, The Seed of the Sacred Fig is currently flowing, oh my god, flow, is at my art house cinema. Funny enough, I've seen a bunch of these. I think international feature, I'm Still Here is going to win. Just because it's just a very, due to the subject material, the subject matter, and the press and the leading lady nomination in that, I think that's probably going to win. Though my personal vote based on what I've seen would be for Flow. Makeup and hairstyling, A Different Man, Emilia Perez, come on. Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. Ooh, that's a tricky one. This is honestly a tricky one. Different Man has the prosthetics, of course, for Sebastian Stan's character. The Substance, though, I mean, so much went into that. Whether it was normal outfits, crazy suits, crazy dresses, or creature features. That would go into makeup too, wouldn't it? For me, I'm stuck between Nosferatu and this. Well, you know what? I would say The Substance. I would give costuming to Nosferatu because of what they're wearing. Makeup and hairstyling, there's more put in to makeup and hairstyling in The Substance overall. If Wicked won, I mean, okay. See, here's the funny thing. Original score. See that word original? Wicked is an adaptation. What are we talking about here with original score? I discount that. I discount it. It's an adaptation of pre-existing songs. I mean, you can argue with me in the comments if you want. Maybe there's some original songs in there. If Emilia Perez wins this, now that one I would definitely riot on. There's a bunch of quote-unquote musical numbers in this film, but so many of them stop. I mean, I did a whole reaction to it on my Patreon. My gal pal and I, we watched the entirety of the film, and we both came to the same consensus. This film, hardly a musical. It has musical elements. There's maybe 2, maybe 3 full musical numbers, and I use that term extremely lightly, but a lot of it is just like whisper singing or a few sentences where it's just like, you think you can do this, and then it's like that's the whole song right there. I mean, some songs are literally like less than a minute. Wild Robot has good music, but I mean I wouldn't call it a standout of the year. Conclave has like like it has the whole orchestral like and the whole like the musical sting and all that. I don't think it has a diverse enough score. I would say 100% without a doubt, even though some elements of its central theme repeat, I think there's enough variety. I would give it to The Brutalist, honestly, because the music in this, I mean, I hope A24 puts out a vinyl. There's not a whole hell of a lot of music and not a whole expansive list of tracks, but the music that is in it works to the film's betterment so much. It accentuates the film in key scenes. It's memorable. I still think about it. I love it. It gets you in the headspace for the film. I would put my vote in for The Brutalist. I think it actually might get the vote. Best original song. Hell Mall, really? Okay, sure. The Journey from the 688, don't even know what that is. Like a Bird from Scene Scene. Me. How to get out of town with this How are you gonna 2 songs from Amelia Per? What are you talking about? Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late. I mean, I guess the only one I could in good conscience vote for is Like a Bird from Scene Scene. That movie was beautiful. It didn't stick with me where I can easily recall it right now, but I would just vote for that. I think that's the most qualified option. Best Picture. I'm just going in the list, the order these are listed on here. Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, or Wicked. What I could very easily strike off this list. The ones that are the easy ones to strike off. Wicked, Emilia Perez, and A Complete Unknown. The ones that are not easy to strike off, but I wouldn't go so far as to say they're like best picture contenders. Conclave, excellent film. I don't think it's best picture material. I mean, it's really good. I don't think it's like best picture if we're thinking about everything that goes into a movie and what makes it, the movie that it is. I'm Still Here. Hot take. I definitely think Fernando Torres. I think she's an absolute emotionally devastating powerhouse in that film. I loved her performance. I didn't love the movie. I thought it's a sad, important story to tell. I don't think it was anything special. I mean, it's really good. It's a really good film. Love to Brazil. Love to my fans in Brazil and all that. I don't want to shit on the movie or anything, or I don't want to shit on Brazil. It's important, but as good as it was, I don't think it's best picture material. Yeah, Wicked. I mean, it's good, but I mean, come on, it's not that good. Not in my opinion, anyway. I'll tell you what I would honestly, obviously what I vote for. My number one pick, my number one favorite film of last year was The Substance. My vote goes for The Substance. Nickel Boys, I really did enjoy Nickel Boys. I like that a lot. I like that it innovated and tried to deliver to us a film that is completely from the perspective of the first person, but it has pacing issues and the narrative flow. I don't know, by the third act it just kind of ended suddenly, which I guess is the point, but I think it suffers from pacing issues and a little bit of ambiguity in the plot, which again I know is the point. Again, it's a movie about a very important story based off of real life events, which leaves us with Anora, Brutalist, A Complete Unknown. I don't know why. I mean, I get it, sure. I just don't know why this is getting all these nominations. Sure, I guess, sure. It's not an amazing film. It's good or really good. Conclave is really good, but not a best picture. I would say this comes down to, for me, in my mind, the films that belong on this list or really deserve their slots are Anora, Brutalist, Dune Part 2, The Substance, and I could see why I'm Still Here and Nickel Boys are on here. Even though I don't vote for them, I understand why they're on here. My vote is for The Substance. What I think is going to win? Tricky. I've heard some behind the scenes reports. I don't know if they're valid or true, but I've heard tell that some of the people on the actual Academy voters didn't watch all the films before voting and couldn't be bothered to sit through and watch that. So I just, I saw some of the other ones. I just voted for one, which I think is complete, horseshit. Realistically, I think it's going to come down to The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, or I'm Still Here. Because Dune Part 2 is just a excellent, just about a masterpiece of a film and delivers on the fronts of story, but also just quality entertainment. But The Brutalist and I'm Still Here, both well-made films that have important messages and stories. Out of all these picks, I mean, they're basically, and this happens every year, there's some picks on here that are 100% on here because they are, for lack of a better term, diversity hires. And I say that not to disparage diversity, but I say it because the Academy picked them to assuage the public, or in their mind, they nominated certain films to basically provide representation. I feel maybe it's conspiracy type of talk, but I feel like some of these movies are picked. I mean, come on, Amelia Perez, really? Even the people that gave that movie the highest of praise, really, best picture, best film that was made all year, really? Okay, sure. My vote is for The Substance. I would like to think they'd vote for The Brutalist or Dune Part 2, but I could see a world in which they vote for I'm Still Here. I think they're going to pick one of these two. I'd still love it if they said Anora. I wouldn't be mad if they picked... The only ones I'd be mad if picked would be if Wicked, Complete Unknown, or Emilia Perez won. I would be upsetty spaghetti. I wouldn't be mad at most of these. Production design? I think Dune Part 2 will win. I mean, God, the amount of The amount of production that went into that film, massive. So much money, so much production. I mean, if Nosferatu won, that'd be cool. Like, the production design for that movie was also magnificent. But I feel like Dune Part 2 is going to win for production design. Live action short film, I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen them. Sound, come on with this complete unknown nonsense. Okay, someone can mix music. Jesus. I don't even have the energy to be upset about that. Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2, hands down. We're talking sound. See, I think they say sound, and then we're like, oh, sound.
Music, so it sounds like good music.
Didn't they change it? Didn't it used to be sound design? I'm going to say sound is basically sound design. And if that's the case, Dune Part 2 wins by a landslide, so get out of here. Visual effects, I am so happy to see Alien Romulus win. I doubt it's going to win. It's better, man. So there's not a whole lot that went into the visual effects aside from Sebastian Stan's prosthetics. Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, true. Okay, what I would vote for, Alien Romulus, hands down. Also in my top movies of the year for 2024. I love Romulus. One of the biggest things I loved about it was were the visual effects and all the practicality that went into it. And I'm very, very happy and proud to see an Alien film on like have an Oscar nomination. Even if it doesn't win, the fact that we're here right here, that's awesome. I would love it if Alien Romulus won. That'd be crazy amazing. What I think is going to win is Dune Part 2. Both are sci-fi epics, but one is leaps and bounds bigger and larger and more expansive and more involved than Romulus. Writing for an adapted screenplay, come on with this Amelia. I don't get how that movie has so many award nominations. My vote. This is always interesting. So just best script, yeah, best written. I mean screenplay, best written. Nickel Boys, I would say there's more blocking and visuals than dialogue. So I guess if you want to count I would consider that more direction than writing. I mean, I guess you're adapting it, right? My vote is between Conclave or Scene Scene. Conclave is a well-written religious political thriller for sure. Scene Scene is a very emotionally written piece. Scene Scene's more on the artistic side. I think I would vote for Scene Scene, though I could see Scene Scene or Conclave winning this one for sure. Best original screenplay. This is the one where I said, like, as much as I love The Substance and would vote for it in just about every category, The Substance, I think it, like, direction and everything else is great, but I think, it's the beauty of the film is that so much is said without being spoken. And I know that writing is more than just the script and what's said, but I'm still considering writing and screenplay as basically like best script in my mind. As much as it pains me to say it, I would say The Substance wouldn't be my pick for this one. Honestly, I would say it's between these three for me. Out of all three of these, I honestly would vote for The Brutalist, I think. As much as I loved Anora, The Brutalist is just so well written and well acted that, again, for a movie as long as it was, I was absorbed in every scene. I compared it to Succession in that regard, like the show Succession, in which it could just be one scene after another of a bunch of people, funny enough, also in suits or what have you, just standing around, moving around a room or a space, just talking. But it's so well written. It's just so engaging, interesting, and artistic and intelligent. I mean, I can go on, etc., etc. My vote is for The Brutalist, but given the press that A Real Pain has been getting, I wouldn't be surprised or upset if A Real Pain won, or maybe even Anora. Those are all my predictions for I guess you can call it the 2025 Academy Awards, right? But it's for all the movies released, honoring the films released in 2024. I plan to have this out ideally late afternoon on the day of. So again, I'm recording this the night before the Oscars. I'm going to have this posted the day of, just hours before the Oscars. I might make a video afterwards with my quick reactions to who won or who didn't. If I can figure out a way, I know they're going to stream it on Hulu, but I also don't want to get taken down on Twitch. So if I can find a way to stream it where there's a obnoxious overlay over the Oscar feed, then I might do a live stream where I live react and just kind of do a watch along for the Oscars, just for funsies. I could see myself doing that. So yeah, if I can arrange it, I will. And then expect to see that, of course, that whole live stream ported, just the VOD, taken over and put on YouTube. So in the meantime, those are my predictions. Feel free to let me know what you think below. Do you agree, disagree? Do you any contentious points? Feel free to argue with me or sing my old praises. Tell me if you think I'm a soothsayer of the truth or if I'm painfully misguided. But to anybody who stayed and watched the whole thing to hear me yap on about my opinions, thank you guys and gals so much for watching. And stay tuned for the I guess either the live or the post Oscars recap. We'll see you then. Have a good day. Have a good night. Goodbye, travelers.